Hello viewers! In this tutorial, I'll tell you about the degrees of adjectives, with plenty of examples. Now, you already know what an adjective is, right? Here's a quick review. An adjective is a part of speech that describes or modifies a noun or a pronoun. If you know what adjectives, nouns, and pronouns are, then you're ready for this lesson. Okay, let's get started. I said I'd be talking about the degrees of adjectives. Adjectives have degrees? Yes, some of them do. To be more exact, some adjectives have degrees of comparison. Remember those examples I promised? I got one right here. Bob is tall. First of all, what's the adjective in this sentence? I'm sure you picked out the same word I did. Tall. This is what we call a positive adjective. It doesn't express any degree of how tall Bob is. It simply describes Bob as tall. Now, what if we wanted to compare how tall Bob is to how tall John is? Look at this sentence. Bob is taller than John. What is this sentence saying? Well, Bob and John are being compared here, specifically about their tallness. It turns out that Bob's degree of tallness is above John's degree of tallness. But we can say that in an easier way with this sentence. Because the adjective taller involves a comparison between two people, Bob and John, we say that this adjective is of the comparative degree, and the word taller is called a comparative adjective. A comparative adjective shows a comparison between only two people, places, or things. Do not forget this part. Only two people, places, or things are compared using a comparative adjective. Okay, let's say that Bob is in a room full of people, like 10 people altogether. What if we wanted to compare how tall Bob is to how tall everybody else is in the room? Check out this sentence. Bob is the tallest person in the room. We keep learning more and more about how tall Bob is. First, Bob was just tall. Then, he was taller than John. Now, he's the tallest of everyone in the room. Bob's tallness has been compared to 9 other people in the room. Because the adjective tallest compares the tallness of more than 2 people, in this case, all 10 people in the room, we say that this adjective is of the superlative degree, and the word tallest is called a superlative adjective. A fancy word like superlative seems to be saying that Bob is not just tall, but super tall, the tallest of all. Super is a word that means of the highest degree, so the word superlative is a good name for this kind of adjective. A superlative adjective shows a comparison among more than 2 people, places, or things. Remember this part forever. More than 2 people, places, or things are compared using a superlative adjective. We can use comparative adjectives and superlative adjectives to talk about all sorts of degrees of stuff. How tall someone is, how small something is, how stinky a place is, how fast someone is, how delicious something is, how brave someone is. So how do we take an ordinary positive adjective like stinky and make it comparative or superlative? Well, like a lot of things in the English language, there are a few rules. And, like a lot of rules in the English language, these rules get ignored sometimes. I'll show you that in a moment. Look carefully at this chart to see the pattern. Tall, taller, tallest. Small, smaller, smallest. Stinky, stinkier, stinkiest. Fast, faster, fastest. Brave, braver, bravest. Happy, happier, happiest. Notice the ER, EST rule? For the comparative degree, slap on an ER. Remember, though, that for some positive adjectives, you have to change a Y to an I first. For the superlative degree, put an EST on the end. Again, if there's a Y, swap it for an I first. Another nice, easy rule works for a lot of adjectives with more than one syllable. This chart shows you what I mean. Delicious, more delicious, most delicious. Intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent. Frightening, more frightening, most frightening. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. See the pattern for this rule? More and most. That's what you use for these bigger words. I would never say, this cookie is deliciouser than that cookie. Deliciouser is not a word. Don't use it, unless you're trying to make somebody giggle. Now let's see some words that totally don't follow the rules. Good, better, best. Bad, worse, worst. Much, more, most. These bad boys are just a few examples of the so-called irregular forms of comparative and superlative adjectives. There's no clear pattern here. It's all irregular. So you're going to have to memorize these guys. Remember, gooder and badder are not words. Whenever you're not sure how to make comparative and superlative forms of an adjective, a dictionary can help you. Two more things. When using comparative adjectives in sentences, we normally include the word than. Bob is taller than John. A mouse is smaller than an elephant. This cookie is more delicious than that cookie. But sometimes we can leave that part out. Bob is taller. A mouse is smaller. This cookie is more delicious. These sentences alone don't give us as much information, but they are complete sentences. When using superlative adjectives in sentences, we normally include the. Bob is the tallest of all the people in the room. The cheetah is the fastest land mammal of all land mammals on Earth. This cookie is the most delicious cookie I've ever tasted. We can also say, Bob is the tallest, the cheetah is the fastest land mammal on Earth, or this cookie is the most delicious cookie. Again, not as much info, but these are complete sentences. If you're ever worried that the comparison of your sentence isn't very clear, include more information. Tell us everything you know about who or what is being compared. And there you have it. Those are the degrees of adjectives. Thanks for watching.